Big up, and welcome back, my Reds family, to the Liverpool 12th Man Show. It is a interesting game, very, very action-packed. If you're watching this Friday night under the lights at West Ham, they're definitely not enjoying the bubbles, I guess you could say, because this game, excuse me. This game is got a lot of goals in it. So far, we just got it into the second half, and it is already 3-1. And it could have been even higher than that, actually, if it wasn't for an offside. It could have even been worse than that. But West Ham is very, very poor. Other than Paqueta having some good signs of performances today, it's just Chelsea capitalizing off of poor defense and the likes. But I have it on in the background. We're going to be talking about some other stuff, though, today. We're going to talk about, obviously, some Liverpool stuff, talking about some of the different – I put up in the thumbnail, I said it's a different RB because, obviously, Dominic is from RB. Originally, but he is about to play right back, so it is a different RB, if you get my drift. And West Ham selling Kudus, it was pretty poor for them to sell one of their best players. It definitely was. Bowen trying to hold them in this game, Paqueta trying to do their best to hold them in this game, but they look poor. There's more drama. What is Hyler saying? Big up, Hyler. Big up to I Am Batman, Red Armchair Supporter, CJ, Dustin. Shout out to all of you joining us. Plenty of debate, I guess, about our club to be had. Let me tell you, it's going to be an interesting discussion for some of the topics because I know some people are a little bit concerned about our depth. About the way that our coach goes about rotating our players. And this isn't necessarily because of rotation, but it is certainly the fact that if this isn't a wake-up call, it is certainly a red alarm to say that we need to definitely be mindful of the minutes and the actual usage that we do for some of these players on the pitch, because we're going to need each and every one of them for all the competitions, trying to win all the competitions that we can. So let's kick things off with what I'm calling the state of the union, or the state of LFC, actually. Arne Slot has confirmed that Jeremie Frimpong, our brand new signing and exciting right back, is going to be out until after the international break due to hamstring issues. That's a considerable blow to our back line. Let's be honest, because why I put the thumbnail in there is because we are very low on availability. And what I mean by availability is they might not be on the injury mending list like Jeremie Frimpong is. However, they're not 90 minutes fit. So it's going to be one to monitor. He's going to be out until the international break, probably a little bit after the international break due to the hamstring issues. Primarily, this is difficult because it's not only new, but because he's supposed to be a core part of how we evolve under Slot. This is something. It's only game 2, and we're already dealing with these injuries. And we are fortunate that we didn't have to deal with the injuries to this extent so early last year, but it's still a concern that we have to be mindful of because, we can't trust some of these players going injury-free all year. So that would say, okay, cool. Conor Bradley's back. Gotcha. But Conor Bradley has returned to training. I get that, which is a positive. But Slot himself said it's too soon to call if he's going to be featured in the game against Newcastle on Monday. And then there's Joe Gomez. He's almost back to being available, but he's not quite 100%, which leaves us in a sticky situation like I spoke of. 2 injuries in the exact same position, very similar to what we had to deal with last year when Tsimikas and Robbo both had, which is kind of wild, both had shoulder injuries, which is, it's a unique injury when it comes to football. But we had to deal with that situation where we had 2 of our first string and second string left backs go down. Unfortunately, we had Gomez, who was fit at the time. But with the 2 injuries in the exact same position and the manager already hinting at using possibly Wataru Endo or even Dominic Szoboszlai as emerging right backs, it really has a question mark put onto what and where and how we're going to navigate a very difficult fixture on Monday. I mean, some would say this is classic Liverpool luck. We got 3 left. We got 3 right backs in the squad, or not 3 back, or excuse me, 2 right backs in the squad. And right now we have, or technically 3, but now we have we have limited usage of them, and we could probably get maybe 45 minutes, 60 minutes probably out of Conor Bradley if we try to utilize it, but that's a question mark. I've already heard the coach say that he's going to get about 25 minutes, if that, 20, 25 minutes. And the reason why Joe Gomez wasn't in training for a couple of the sessions was because we utilized him against Bournemouth, and we had to utilize him with Bournemouth because of the injury with Frimpong. So it is something of a concern. We've got to get this into our minds and understand that we're going to definitely see Newcastle target our right back area of the pitch. So in the presser, Slot looked calm with his demeanor about it. I didn't expect anything really less. I wasn't going to be seeing him like, well, yes, I'm here to pull out, but I didn't expect him to be, going crazy. But he was calm. He basically said, this is football. It happens, and we'll adapt. It's not panic, it's problem solving. But like I spoke on earlier, let's be real. St. James Park away, then Arsenal at home. Both games without Frimpong, both games where we're going to have to hopefully be able to mend and also have a more rested and fit Conor Bradley to be utilized. And by using Szoboszlai, it takes one more option out of utilizing a player in our midfield. So no Frimpong, maybe no Bradley really. I don't want to see Gomez rush back. Obviously, we don't want to see that happen. It's an Achilles injury, so that's something that you don't want to really press or overplay. And the question is Slot going to roll the dice on someone completely out of position somewhat, in the sense of position that they're not necessarily comfortable with? It's a big question. Very big question. By the way, West Ham. Holy I thought that maybe Manchester United had the worst goalkeeper, or one of the worst goalkeeper performances I've seen so far. This performance this performance has West Ham. It has West Ham audience, the supporters of West Ham, leaving for the exits already. That's pathetic. Oh my goodness. The goalkeeper came out, tried to catch it. No, they didn't try to catch it, excuse me. Tried to push it away. My God, you got to punch You got to go and punch it away. If you take someone's head out, who cares? Punch it, not push it. This isn't volleyball. But he basically just set up Caicedo for another goal. Wow, 4-1. Like I said, Graham Potter looking like confused, dazed and confused on the sideline there. But back to what I was saying. I'm going to ask you. I don't think Graham Potter's going to be the first to get sacked. Who knows? One of the stories that I have coming up later on might be the first manager to get sacked. It's an interesting story that I have for my news around the league. That's going to be a later segment. But I wanted to ask you, how comfortable are you feeling about our situation that we're going to have to probably most likely see? We're going to have to most likely see a fill-in at our right back. There's no guarantee that Dominic starts, by the way. There's absolutely no guarantee that he starts. Is it likely? Absolutely. But Conor Bradley, if we can get, depending on how many minutes we can get from him, that could be a good question. And maybe he gets to start. Maybe Endo gets to start. Again, I know some of us aren't exactly head over heels with thinking about Endo doing the start, because it's going to be a different. I don't want to see Endo as the right back trying to do Frimpong, if not / Conor Bradley type roles for our right back. So it's a really interesting question, and I'd love to hear what you guys think. We've got a nice little group in the chat here, so I can definitely engage with you and get some of your ideas or get some of your thoughts. But who would you trust more on Monday night? Joe Gomez, even if he's not fully fit? Is it Conor Bradley, even if he's just back in training? Or would you gamble with an out-of-position solution like an Endo or even a Dominic Szoboszlai? I think we're probably going to see Dominic Szoboszlai in the role. We could even see a Curtis Jones in the role. He's played there before. Not to everyone's liking, but still he's played there before. It's a really interesting question as to what Arne Slot, oh my goodness, what Arne Slot is going to do. This is embarrassing, by the way, for West Ham supporters. Absolutely embarrassing. 5. It's the high fives. It's the high fives. I can't do the accent, so I'm sorry. I don't know if you guys even remember that part. There used to be in FIFA when you went 5-0, or you got 5 goals, the commentator would be like, "It's the high fives." Like, guys, need to give him a high five. But it is now 5-1. It is now 5-1, and another goal conceded off of a corner kick. Another goal conceded off of a corner kick. This goalkeeper has to be stronger. You've got to be more assertive. You've got to be more assertive. He was late to getting to that one. I don't think he's offsides. And Chaleba scores another a virtual tap in, but he just, he volleys it in somewhat off of a header that was passed in. 5-1 at the 60th minute. And we are still going to have to watch 30 minutes of this dreck. West Ham owner is not looking happy. I think that's his wife next to him, who is not looking happy either. But it is a real question. It is a real question. Who would you trust more on Monday night, people? Shout out to Dara. Shout out to Lady B. Definitely greetings to tip of the hat to the lady in the house. Shout out to Nolante, of course. Big up, big up. A lot of OGs in the house right now, which is always good to see. Yeah, West Ham are struggling. They've got to put something back on the board for themselves. It just all fell apart ever since that offsides goal. That was literally half a step offsides. He didn't have to even go like that. But anyway, yeah, like I'm saying though, I would like to know who you guys got starting on Monday. Again, Joe Gomez, even if he's not fully fit, do you risk it? Conor Bradley, even though he's just back in training, do you put Conor Bradley in as a starter? Or would you gamble and play like Endo in the right back spot? Or would you put Dom in the right back spot? Or even Curtis Jones in the right back spot? Or maybe you do something different. Maybe you play even Gravenberch in the right back spot. I don't know. Or do you maybe drop Gravenberch back and play with a back three and do something? Do a back three, and you have Gravenberch as your right center back, and you can do obviously Virgil on the left, and then do Konate in the middle, or maybe you have Ryan as it's technically a center back, but he goes and plays forward. He migrates forward as a center back as an advanced center back, if you want to call it that. And then you have your left and your right center halves that just play, because we normally play with two center halves basically as our back line anyway. It's not like we keep 4 or 3. Sometimes we play 3, but if not, we don't play 4 in the back line. Let's see. Why not just there's a shout. That's a shout. Rasta Crab, the streets has spoken. Big up, Rasta Crab. That's a shout. That would be a lot to put on his shoulders, but that's concerning if all the names I just mentioned aren't going to work. And if we were to go to a back three, then that would be more ideal to see Leone in as, let's say, like the right center half or wherever we're going to play him. Left center half, right center half. It'd be a lot, though, to ask. It'd be a real lot to ask of Leone if you're going to put him in to a game like that with just a couple of training sessions under his belt. Yeah. Lady V. We're always open to new ideas and thinking outside the box. Nothing wrong with that, Lady B. Rasta Crab thinks Dom is the best option or the best bet. Not necessarily option, but best bet. I get what you're saying, Crab. It is not only concerning, it is frustrating that I'll ask you this, Crab. Would you say that he's injury prone? I don't want to. The way that our coach deemed it, he said, Bradley was out once or twice last year, and he's like that. That comes with the territory. He didn't make it seem like it was a concern or as if he was like some injury-prone player, but it's scary. The fact I don't want to put that as being the case. But apparently we don't, quote unquote, get injuries. Yes, I know. Yeah. Very true. High Lord says Gomez should start if he can, and then sub him off when he feels the frost creeping up on him. Okay. The thing about the Achilles and the thing about the hamstring injury that that Conor's coming back off of, it's the fact that they're not necessarily impact injuries. They're more so, usage injuries. So like when you just try to have those bursts of acceleration, you can sometimes tweak something, or you can sometimes like twist something. And that's a major concern. That's the real concern in saying and thinking that, because obviously they've got some speedy options up front trying to navigate and keep Gordon and his cronies all at bay. It's not going to be an easy it's not going to be an easy task at all. I'll put this in the chat and see you guys. Before we move on, I'll put this in the chat. And you guys can and just share with me who you think. And where it says other, put in your who you'd like to see. Put in your answer. So, Realism Jared, what up, bro? Big up Honesty. Leone at right back at Newcastle is in a highly charged, hostile atmosphere in a team he's never played for, in a country he's never played in. I'll say it. Heck no. He said HE double hockey sticks, but heck no, is what I'll say it as. I said this too. I was with that idea too. That was a shout crap. I was thinking if you don't go with Dom, which I think is going to be the answer. And I understand that it's not his strong foot. However, we've seen players play on, we've seen Gomez, for instance, play on the left as a left back, despite him being a right back. And he's done well at left back, primarily because when you're going up against the other player, you by having the opposite foot on that side, you create an angle you cut off an angle, or you force a player to go to a different to a side that he might not want. You force him to go towards the outside instead of cut inside. Let me see if they finally. I didn't score. So, but I was thinking exactly what Crab was saying, in that it was at least an option. Why not maybe have Kirkez on the left and have Robbo on the right? It's not like he doesn't know or have the idea of what needs to be utilized in the likes on the right side. I get he prefers to use his left foot and everything else. However, I don't know. I could be open to that. I see the Streets wants to be it reversed. He wants to see Kirkez on the right and then have Robbo on the left. But I get why you're saying that. I see you. Well, it is a question. It's a question. I see that some of the answers in the chat were, Honesty was saying Dominic at right back. CJ said Gomez or Dom. Red Armchair Support says if Gomez isn't ready to start, then Dom or Curtis Jones. Sometimes I wish that we could switch to 3 at the back. I don't see why we don't. We have done it before, to tell you the truth, too. We have gone to 3 backs. When we were down to 10 men. But at the same time, we did go, but we still need to have an offensive threat going forward. So we ended up going with three in the back. I can't remember the game, but off the top of my head, but I remember that we were down to 10 men and we utilized that. And it was under Slot that we did it. I think it might have been Fulham, maybe. Might have been Fulham. Let's see. Who else has put in the answer? No one else? No one else? All right. It would be a weird setup. It would be a different setup, but it's not something that we haven't done. And maybe we're preparing for it. I don't know. Maybe we do a week of if we knew this was going to be the situation and we've been doing the week of training for it, then who knows? Who knows what tactical switch that we're going to try to utilize on Monday. I'm interested to see what it's going to be. Very interested to see. So one of the subjects or one of the main stories that I wanted to do today was Champions League is approaching. The draw is approaching, okay? And this is going to be right back to drama. Certainly going to be right back to drama. And, one second. What happened? It's certainly going to be back to drama. And okay, sorry about that. My camera and mic went out for a second there. Hopefully you can hear me. Give me a thumbs up if you can, or at least a yes or no or something. If you're not hearing me, I just see that I'm back on screen. But what I wanted to say was, yeah, that was drama. My computer's trying to cause some drama for me. I was going to say the draw for the revamped league phase format is coming up this Thursday on the 28th of August. And it's going to be in Monaco. Monaco's, I would love to go to Monaco. Monaco, I hear, is very beautiful. Liverpool are in pot 1, and I think deservedly so, as the obviously the Premier League champions. And we'll be alongside in pot 1, PSG, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, Barcelona, Inter, Chelsea, Dortmund, and Manchester City. Those are the teams that are going to be with us, 10 teams that are going to be with us in pot 1. That's some real company. Remember, this format means we're going to get 2 opponents from each pot, one home and one away. So it's guaranteed we'll see some heavyweight matchups. Hopefully we get very similar circumstances like we did last year, which was if the big names that we get, like the CJ's asking for PSG. If we end up getting PSG, because we're going to get obviously 2 names from pot 1. If we do get a PSG, for instance, hopefully it's PSG at Anfield, and then maybe Chelsea at the Bridge, or Dortmund, I would say at Dortmund. I'd say out of those nine, I would probably. Is my microphone not working? Can you hear me? Your audio sounds. Oh, I got you. Give me 1 second. Let me make sure. I know what happened. Okay, check, check, check. 1, 2. Hopefully it sounds better now. I sound like Sebastian Crab. I got you. That's because I know what happens. I have a professional microphone. However, the connection for it got somehow detached. So when I link back in my camera, which is I have a separate camera from my computer. That's got a microphone in it. And then obviously my computer's got a microphone in it. And then I have my microphone that I use for the broadcast. And it goes to the default, which is the camera microphone. And the separate camera microphone is like really, really poor. That's why it sounds like I'm SpongeBob or something like that. Like I'm under the sea with Squidly. But I'm going to put the teams in here. Out of that pot, I'll put the teams in. Tell me your preference of who you'd like to see home and away from pot 1, because that's most likely going to be the most. That's going to be the biggest test, you want to call it that we'll have to see in the Champions League is whoever we end up facing in pot 1. I'll give you the list here. That's interesting. CJ saying anyone but Dortmund away. I would love to play Dortmund away. I know that that would be possibly that'd be one if I was so fortunate to be one of the traveling fans. That would be ideally one of the places I would like to go see the most out of probably one of the most I'd like to see them out of all of them. I get Barcelona's beautiful. I get Real Madrid's beautiful. I get PSG is cool too, and we have revenge on our minds probably. But I'll give you the list right here, right now. This is the list. I personally would like to see it as being that's a tough pot 1. I'd say give us Chelsea away, Dortmund at home. That's who I would like to see. At the Bridge for Chelsea, and home against Dortmund. Home against Dortmund. Love to hear what you guys have to say too. Let me see. But we're going to see a heavyweight matchup one way or another. And last year, Liverpool topped the league phase table. Obviously, that helped us out a lot. Unfortunately, we didn't win that game against PSV, which could have maybe put the rest of the table a little bit more into flux. But we won 7 out of the 8 matches. Obviously, we heartbreakingly fell to PSG in the round of 16. This year, Slot, I'm thinking, will want us not to dominate the league phase, but not only dominate the league phase, but also to go deeper into this competition. We need to definitely compete to a level where we get to the semis, and if not the final of this competition, because I think that we're that level of a club in Europe. So by next week, we'll know exactly who we're facing. The fixtures will be confirmed by the 30th of the Saturday, the 30th. That means we're days away from circling some huge nights at Anfield on the calendar, nights that will define our season, nights that I'd like to say where legends are made, maybe like something like that. Let me see who you guys are saying for your shouts. Inter and Chelsea are easy wins. Okay. All right. I'm assuming Inter is. Tell me which one's home, which one's away. PSG and Inter. I don't want to go to Paris again. And Italy doesn't do us well. We sometimes do not. Sometimes we do great in Italy. I'll admit that. But sometimes we do not do well. But PSG and Inter is what Rasta Crab is saying. Okay. CJ is saying Madrid and Barcelona knock out two of the heavyweights. That's bold. Barca and Inter, Red Armchair supporters saying, okay. Ooh, that would be a tasty matchup, actually, Crab. Trent, can you imagine the reception Trent Alexander-Arnold will get if we have to play Real Madrid at home? Wow. That will be you talk about drama, that will be drama. Let's see. CJ wants Barca at home, Madrid away. Okay. Tyler thinks Real Madrid is half a joke this season. They barely won in their first match this season by a pen. They also got humiliated in the Team World Cup. Yes, they did. So did PSG, by the way, though. PSG got humiliated as well in the final, at least. Let's see. We can play Bayern Munich, certainly. We can certainly play Bayern Munich. Let's see. Red Armchair. That's a good one. Yeah. No, I hope by that point that we've established a little bit more consistency with our fitness when it comes to our right back. I definitely don't want to see Dominic Szoboszlai having to go up against whoever they're going to have on their left side, Mbappe or the likes, or even Yamal. Oh my goodness, that'd be ugly. It could be very ugly. It should be interesting. Who we end up getting. The format and stakes are different, or not different, but they're interesting enough because I'll drill down some of the details of the format for the tournament this year. A lot of fans are still adjusting to this new format. I get that, but no more group stages. Obviously, it's the league phase system, 36 teams, each facing 8 opponents. You finish top 8 and you go straight to the round of 16. That's something we want to do again. Prize money is also a big factor. £1.8 million per win is what you get. 590,000 for a draw, and plus extra money based on your table placement. So where you place in the table, you get money for that as well. Last year we earned 8.4 million, about 8.4 million, 8.5, something around there, for just the league phase. And that was before knockout bonuses. So every match matters financially. It helps us with our pursuits of these players and the likes, paying off some of the heavy debts that we're going to have to make up for some of the boys in accounting, boys or lasses in accounting. It's going to be interesting because it's going to be, again, May 30th. It's going to be the final. It's going to be in Budapest this year or this season. That's going to be a lot of fun. certainly had some incredible games or incredible runs in Budapest. But we'll see. We'll see. I see that you guys are talking about, you guys still talking about right backs. Okay, all right. Well, let's talk about a player that I have as this player as my 12th man spotlight or my 12th man featured player. And try to figure out which one I want to go with that for the title. But I'll just say 12th man's player feature or featured player. And the player that I'm going to be highlighting today is, we had 5 players get highlighted from the PFA Premier League Team of the Year the award show. This player, I think, is a player that some didn't necessarily think was going to pan out for us. Some weren't necessarily on board for. Some were. I know that Nalante, I know Man Like Matt, they all had very high expectations and high hopes for this player. And the player I'm speaking of is Ryan Gravenberch. Ryan Gravenberch. Yeah, Red Archer wants add 3 more. Maybe. Who's the 3 that you want to see added to that list? Who are the 3 that you would want to see added to that list? That's a really good shout. Obviously Verts, maybe Cody. Is that who you're thinking of? Ekitike? Pretty interesting. But all right, I wanted to get into this, the future of this player because I absolutely appreciate and enjoy Gravenberch. Isak would be a shout. There you go, Lady B. I like it. Progressive thinking. I like it a lot. And what it is about this player that's unique about it is, during the Klopp reign, it was difficult for Ryan to get into the starting lineup. He had a couple opportunities. Klopp basically took liberties with sometimes playing him in a position, but with injuries and with this fact that there was some real competition for the roles. It was difficult. We were playing with 2 8s at that time, and you can honestly say that McAllister was a sharpied in choice for one of our 8s. And then it got to a roll the dice or your preference when it came to the other 8. And that would be for obviously Szoboszlai, or if you're going to go with Curtis Jones. It was a unique situation because he had flashes of really making progress, but then every opportunity that he got, for some reason, he unfortunately got an injury that put him a little bit of a setback. I think the rise that we've seen from this player has been absolutely incredible. I know that year when Klopp had him on the team, I remember because I was on a Kappa show calling, and I kept emphasizing that one unique thing I saw about Gravenberch was that he had that ability to do what we saw from Matip, and that was being able to do those long strides and progress the ball from box to box. And and be able to, defend against players that were trying to take the ball off of him. I thought it was a phenomenal trait. It was something I'd like to see. It was something, the reason why I suggested that if he's not getting the playing time, I said this online at least, I was like, if he's not getting the playing time as an 8, we should utilize him as a 6. We should utilize him as a 6. This is also during the era when I even was hoping that Thiago could play a 6, to be honest with you. But I mean, but I was hoping for that for him as a 6. Finally, when Slot joined the club, that suggestion or idea became a reality. The Dutch midfielder was named to the PFA Premier League Team of the Year after helping Liverpool to glory last season, picking up Young Player of the Season. Gravenberch is quietly becoming one of the most important midfielders, not only on this team, but I'd argue to say in England. He's missed the opportunity against Bournemouth, obviously through suspension. He had the birth of his child against for our Community Shield performance against Crystal Palace. But he's back. And with the extra time we've seen from with him being off, and ready to make his season debut at Newcastle, which is going to be a very, very difficult place to make it, but all the same, he should make it. After just becoming a father, good. I'm glad they didn't give that. They didn't end up giving the handball against West Ham. That would have been harsh. But after becoming a newborn, having his newborn and becoming a new, having this to his family, and congratulations to him as well and his missus. Some would say, what a month it's been. Picking up awards, picking up babies now. It's been a really great month for him. Gravenberch said himself, winning the title at Anfield last year made him hungry for more. And if Liverpool go back-to-back, we'll need him at his absolute best, people. At his absolute best. Really, really proud. He worked really hard last season, and the recognition from the other players to be in the team of the season. I'm really glad and really proud of myself, is what Gravenberch said. Kind of interesting, talking in third person for half the sentence and then bringing it back to talk about himself. Interesting perspective. But let me take this out of bring this down. But it is something. Bring this off of. Bring myself back into the screen. It is unique because I think Gravenberch is one of the most important players on this team. I think this team runs differently with Gravenberch in it. I know there are some shouts. By the way, that game has just gone final 5-1. Just gone final. 5 different individual scorers for Chelsea after the opening goal by West Ham. But I think Ryan is unique in the sense that there weren't that many people really giving him credit for the difference that he made on the pitch in the very beginning, because they had question marks as to whether he could play a DM role. And I thought it was unique because I've always said it, and I've always stated this as being the case for Gravenberch, is that he's certainly not your destroyer style DM. I get that. But I think that he brings a unique twist to the DM role. I look at him as being a hybrid DM. And I think having that uniqueness to be able to obviously have I think people have slept on his defense. He's obviously played center half for us. He's obviously done well enough for us in the sense of being able to hold down and utilize his DM abilities. I think that people sleep on the fact that Gravenberch has made this position one of his own. I know some people are trying to push him into a different role, a different spot, maybe push him back into, I don't know where he plays in this lineup, considering, people are trying to have him play more of an advanced role. You're not going to have Gravenberch most likely as a 10. You're not playing him, or you're going to play him as a winger? Are you going to play him as a false 9? Because that's where our positions are for our midfield players, or for our forwards or our advanced players. We play with a pivot. And being that we play with a pivot, he is able to go forward, but also know that he's going to have coverage. We're going to have coverage defensively if he does go forward. And that makes him unique because he does have the legs and the stamina and the speed to be able to track back, play defense, but also get involved in the offense when necessary. Be able to take the ball and keep the ball with him by his dribbling ability. And that's why it's unique. I don't understand why some people are pushing for, and I understand that we could utilize a next era DM. I get that. In that Endo, the reign of Endo will soon have to be moved on from, considering his age. But Ryan Gravenberch's my DM. And I think he does an exceptional job. And it'd be nice if we not only gave him credit for it, or at least more credit for it. It'd be nice if some out there would just accept that he is our DM. Why we can't just say, like, they got to the point where we're going to get Zubimendi. I think that he wouldn't. I don't even think Zubimendi would have started in front of him, even if we got Zubimendi. It makes we have a very unique situation with our midfield in that we have some very versatile players. And we have players like McAllister that can play in the pivot, can play the advanced role of like a 10. And that's something that I like to see. That's something that I like to see. Yeah. He made Team of the Year, Red Armchair Supporter. Exactly. He made Team of the Year. He made Young Player of the Year, not as an advanced 8, not as a 10. Okay? Not as a winger, not as a right-hander, not as a center half, not as a fullback. He made Team of the Year and Young Player of the Season. And people are still saying, we got to move him out of 6. I don't understand. I don't understand that at all. But you tell me what you think about Gravenberch. You tell me what you think, and what you can lump the praise. You can tell me if you don't think that he is our future DM. You tell me. But it is a real question. It is a real question because there is a player that apparently Liverpool are kicking the tires to see maybe if we're going to go for this player or not. So I'm going to do some news from around the league, but I'm going to start with news from our casa. And so we'll take a quick spin around the league and beyond Liverpool, obviously. So I'm going to start with Nottingham Forest. Shout out to Wolfie. He's one for sparking drama, and apparently he loves himself. He loves himself. His Marinakis, the owner of the team, he can't get enough of his owner and the actions of his owner. But Nuno Espirito Santo, called out the owner, Marinakis, in a presser with apparently, despite the fact that obviously Forest won their first game and they won it handedly. They won it well. And despite that, there's some chaos at the city ground. I don't think there's anything new with this. Marinakis, whether it's him, whether it was I don't think they have the position anymore, but they had the former referee that was like I forget the title of it, but it was like some weird title where he like reviewed referee decisions and would end up commenting and putting their appeals in for them or something. I don't know what's up with that. Marinakis did make a comment and said that he's cool with Nuno, that he wasn't aware of any issues or any problems. Obviously there is. Maybe there's more to what happened last year when the owner came out on the pitch and was, confronting Nuno over a decision or something, or decision on a sub, or a decision put throughout the game that possibly cost them a point or something. He's a unique individual. He is the Greek Suge Knight. Shut up, Trudon. Big up, big up. That's a good shout. That is a funny shout. I'm interested to see what happens. We got Forest on our in our, I think it's how, I'm going to see how deep we have to go before we play them. Let me see. Pull up. I think we play them because I know that we have them in our first, I think it's the 10th game, I want to say. We do have them coming up. Yeah, we have them. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12th game. It was a 12th game. I knew it was like, because we have a tough run. Tough 12 games start the season. Bournemouth was no walk in the park. Newcastle obviously is going to be at Newcastle is going to be tough. Then we have Arsenal at home. Now, especially with Eze joining the ranks and most likely going to be available for that game against us at Anfield, it's going to be another tough run. A game that we won't probably have we won't possibly have Frimpong back by then, and hopefully we have Conor Bradley though more so established as being fit. We have Burnley, different story. Burnley, hopefully we can get some. I'd like to see rotation in the Burnley game. To be honest with you, I understand Burnley is away, but I'd like to see rotation early in the year so we can kind of get healthy. Then Liverpool's got the Merseyside derby at home at Anfield. Then we have Crystal Palace. Then we have, which is going to be another interesting one. We have Chelsea at the Bridge. We have the derby versus Manchester United at Anfield. We're just fortunate we have our two derbies at home early. And then we have Brentford on the road. Then we have Villa at home. Then we have City on the road. So the Etihad, not an easy place, not a place we get a lot of results from. And then we face Forest at home. Will Nuno still be coaching by that time? It's a real question mark. Real question mark, I think. Developing question mark, at least. Next, I guess you can say, but I spoke of Crystal Palace. There's the transfer watch. Mark Gahey saga continues, obviously. I'm not going to talk about the other sagas. Don't worry. Palace want 45 million. Apparently, Liverpool don't want to pay more than 30 million pounds. I thought and was hoping that we were closer to that mark or closer to their evaluation. I thought we were going to be closer to being like 35 million pounds would be our asking price or our asking price for what we're going to look to do. But it's a classic standoff right now because they're going into a game now where they need their captain. They've just lost a major part of their team that provides offense for them. Mateta having established history for them, being the first player in Crystal Palace's history to score in Europe. But they have another big game coming up. And it's going to be one that they're going to need their defense. They're going to need their players. And Crystal Palace's coach has already said that he understands and knows that Gahey wants to move. He understands that there's a possibility that Gahey might not be with them in the future. But for now, he is with them. And for now, they certainly do need him. And I don't really put it past us, basically. I really don't see it past us waiting until 2026 for when he's going to be available for a free. That might be the case. And that might really rub people wrong, some people wrong, with us not getting a legitimate third option when it comes to our center halves, not being a prospect like Leone's a prospect, let's be honest with you. A high prospect, a promising prospect, but he's a prospect. Speaking of Crystal Palace, there's another player that I know that friend and family of the channel, Anfield Irishman, loves this player. Really interested in seeing him. He's really interested in seeing him being brought to Liverpool, and that is the young Palace midfielder Adam Wharton. Apparently, he is attracting both Liverpool and Real Madrid. There's been a report that the price tag has been as high as 100 million pounds. I've also seen a price tag as low as 69 million pounds. But with Steve Parish, he likes to get the most for his deals. He likes to play hardball. I don't know what the final price is going to be on Adam Wharton. I don't see us getting Adam Wharton over the line this season. It would be a lot for Crystal Palace to possibly not only lose but to lose Wharton and then possibly lose Gahey in the summer. That's not good management. And to be honest with you, the Crystal Palace manager has not been happy with the way that they've been moving in it. Just hasn't been. I wanted to also give a shout out to Louis Kumas, the young lad from our Reds, is headed to Birmingham City on loan. I think it's a smart move. It's one where he'll get some experience. I get it, it's championship level, but it's still experience all the same. Championship level is still a very, very competitive league. And I'm hoping that he gets to further advance his skill sets. I'll ask this real quick. do you guys see Kumas as being a real opportunistic player for our future? Or is this something where we're just preparing Wharton for to be showcased and possibly purchased in the upcoming summer? We saw Eze get picked up by our rivals. I agree with that, Red Armchair Supporter. I do agree with that. Depends on how he gets on in his loan. I agree with that. I agree with that. If he catches the way that a Bandok did, for instance, I can honestly see him getting 20 million, something around there, for him to be a player. Arsenal got Eze, which is poor. I get it. For us, being that he's a talented player and he's a player that makes them better. When I saw Trossard get signed to a advance or a increase in his salary or his wages, I was hoping and thinking that meant they're doubling down on Trossard. They're recognizing the fact that Eze isn't probably going to be someone that they're going to get across the line. And I was wrong in that it seems like more suitingly, once Kai Havertz got injured, it became more of a priority for them to get this Eze deal done and to assure to have backup for Trossard in the likes of Trossard. He could reshape their title pitch, being Eze and Gyökeres. And they're going to have to carry the weight now. Two players that one is primarily proven and in form and sensational. Hopefully that form dips when he comes to Anfield. But there's not another player that I was going to mention, and the player that we mentioned yesterday. Some of you gave me your ideas as to what you thought was going to be whether you guys thought this was an actual realistic player. The Rodrigo question is real. I would say it's real because Real Madrid clearly have other plans when they are not only leaving him on the bench, but they're allowing for other players that are not even at his talent level, possibly, getting the minutes in front of him. The whispers are Liverpool might sense a market opportunity. The price drops and Madrid gets desperate. Could FSG strike late in the window? There was an article that said that his price was going to be 100 million euros. Now, when I saw that price tag, I thought to myself, wow, that's a healthy bit of change. The idea that we're going to spend close to, we spent like about 80 million pounds or something like that. 79 million pounds for Ekitike. The fact that we spent over 100 million pounds for Verts. We're now still in this discussion for possibly going in for Isak. That's another 100 million pounds. The idea that we would go in for Wharton maybe for another 100 million. The idea that we'd go in for maybe even Rodrigo closer to 100 million pounds. I don't know if that really pans out to be, I don't know if it's going to be doable. So already, if we were to just get Isak and Guehi alone, that we would be pushing close to 500 million, close to $500 million in sales, or excuse me, not in sales, in purchases. It's one to watch. It's definitely one to watch. I guess if you had to choose between signing Marquet for, let's say, 45 million, let's say we get pushed to the hilt and we definitely say, okay, fine, we'll pay the 45 million this summer. Or would you, before this summer, excuse me, this summer being this summer, not next summer. Or would you wait till next year to get him on free? And should Liverpool pay up for Rodrigo, who can play different roles on our front line? It was interesting because Slot said in the interview, in the presser, basically that he's happy with the squad. If there's a player out there that can make the squad better, then he trusts the organization to go out and get that player and bring that player to the team. I saw on, I think it was BBC, might have been Sky Sports, one of the two. There was a pundit on there talking about how he doesn't see Liverpool pursuing simply a striker, that they're looking for a forward that can play right wing or left wing or 10 or even forward as a striker. It's a unique situation. What's your priority out there, people? What's your priority? Before we wrap up this early, it's a TGIF session, so I'm not going to hold you guys late. I know it's already about 10:30 in the UK. What's your priority? Who should we prioritize? Do you go with the disgruntled player in Newcastle with a higher bid? Do you go with Gahey and maybe, push the bid up a little bit to get closer to their £45 million valuation? Maybe we go to 40 rather than trying to stick at 30. Do you go all out and try to bring in Wharton? Or do you sensibly say, I shouldn't say sensible, I'm not trying to influence your decision. Do you possibly say, let's go for Rodrigo and really solidify our club's front line? This could be our front line of forwards if we were to get the players, some of these players, over the line. We've already gotten two of those players in the middle, at the bottom middle right there, over the line, and they joined. Ekitike has certainly hit the ground running. Verts is rounding into form as well. We've got the incredible talents of Mohamed Salah as our anchor, our OG. We've got the emergence of Chiesa having some semblance of possibly getting playing time and showing the wow factor that some of us know he has. We've got Cody Hakpo. Agent Cody doing his duty as usual, scoring goals. And then you'll have possibly Isak and Rodrigo. With that kind of lineup, you could possibly see and be comfortable with the eventual retirement or the eventual, moving on from Mohamed Salah when he chooses to do so, or when he starts to show the effects of his age. Who knows when that's going to happen? But you would have a player in Rodrigo that could possibly be his successor. He's only on about a little over 200,000 pounds a week. You can maybe influence him to say, give him a 20,000, 25, make him on 230 or 220. That could possibly still get him involved and interested to make the jump. There's only two teams Rodrigo is apparently interested in going to, and that's Liverpool or Manchester City. I don't know if that deal's going to get over the line, but I'd be very, very comfortable with our offense if we had these 7 players that all are pretty dynamic in their own right. Well, people, we're at the 90th. We're coming up on the 90th minute, about the 90th minute. I think it's like 76. I'm going to maybe end a little early. But this show has been filled with some real questions about our right back situation and about depth and about situations with what we're going to do against Liverpool. Or excuse me, Liverpool against. Oh, sorry, I just saw JK pop up. That kind of threw me off. Against Newcastle, and what Newcastle is going to do against us. Big up,
hey,
JK.
Bro.
Hey,
yeah, big up, bro. Sorry to speak there.
No worries. I was right in the middle of a sentence, and when someone joins the green room, it gives a beep, and it threw me off. I was like, "What?"
Visuals here.
yeah. I was about to end the show. I can hang out for another 10, 15 minutes.
That's cool, bro. That's cool. Let's talk about right down, share. Have you cool, bro?
I've been talking about some stuff. I'm appreciate you joining. I've been talking about a couple of different topics throughout the show. I brought up the fact that our right back situation is something of a concern. I brought up the fact that it's a real question of who's going to start. It's a real question of who's going to start. Who do you have?
Look, bro, I'll probably go with Gomez, bro. I'm not sure about his fitness levels. Like, if we can get 60 minutes out of him,
right?
Like I've heard some fans say, play the new lad from Italy, play him there. I don't really want to do that, chucking him in a hostile environment like St. James's after with the Isaac. So
wait, you don't want to put who in?
The Italian guy, the new guy.
Oh, Leone. Okay. Would you play if you were to do that? Would you then play a 3-back set, or are you playing him as a right? Are you doing what we used to do with Kwanzaa and playing him as a right center back, or excuse me, a right back?
Yeah, right back, bro.
Oh, you're going to play him as a right back?
I'll play him as a right back. Look, the 3 centre backs could work. But still, we still need width on the right. That's the thing about that. It's a bit of a tricky situation. Like a few weeks ago, we didn't know who to choose out of Bradley and Frimpong. Now we ain't got both. I think. What would you go with?
I think we're going to go with Szoboszlai. I was saying, if we had to think outside of the box, I was saying that why not try to play Robbo there or play Kirkez. Robbo has enough football IQ to basically know, hey, what he would have to do to not get beat and also to hold it down. He's not necessarily going to be giving us the same offensive output that you would see from Bradley or Frimpong, but it would be interesting. Or wow, that's a shout. Right Armchair supporter saying, just thinking outside the box. We're just, we're just thinking outside the box here. Brainstorming a little bit. He says, didn't Chiesa have a spell at wing back at Juve? I believe he did. But that was also one of the reasons why he wanted to leave Juve.
yeah, probably.
So,
but just talking about Chiesa quickly, like, I loved his stamina in that game where he came on against Bournemouth, where he was running from the halfway line to sort of gegenpressing on them, and I love the way he showed like the enthusiasm to do it. It wasn't like last stage, just like walking up the pitch and that. He was really at the races and that shows me a big total change in his mindset. I think maybe he's had a good chat with the boss on that to get more game time is going to come his way if this and this happens. And I think enthusiasm is very important in football. Fans love enthusiasm, I wouldn't put him at right back though. I'll probably just go with the Gomez one, bro. I think Gomez on the pitch reliable to an extent. Fitness
I don't know how
wise
many
is a
minutes
different story.
Gomez. I don't even know if you can get a half out of Gomez.
I reckon if you can get a half, 50 minutes, 60 minutes out of him, that'd be
If you can get 60 minutes out of Gomez,
we can work something then.
Yeah, that's something that you could possibly do, or maybe even get a half out of, have him play the first half, and then you can, hopefully we could be up by that time, and you'll end up seeing Slot do his normal, we're up 2-0, and then downshift, and then put in Endo or something.
Put Endo on, yeah.
Yeah, and then put Endo in and just have him play, not have him do what he did last time, and that is bomb forward. Just stay anchored as a more right back, traditional right back.
I
think Dom's going to get the start.
Look, we've got enough. Like, I don't want to see Curtis start at right back. Like, we had one good game before the Everton. Was it the Everton game? Curtis played at right back and he had a good
Curtis
game.
Jones,
Then we thought we could do him again, put him in the next game, and we got battered, didn't he? So I don't really want to see Curtis at right back. I think then he's probably got a spot in the midfield. Then maybe Gravenberch comes in, McAllister, and they works. So Curtis might be on the bench. Actually, thinking about that. If Szoboszlai is going to go right back, then you can go with the Gravenberch, McAllister, Wirtz sort of midfield. Yeah.
Okay. I also spoke about, is this not a possible, I don't necessarily want to say wake-up call, but certainly a shot across the bow, in that we have to be certainly sensible with how we manage the minutes of all of our players. And I mean, BVD, Salah. Obviously, they all want to play. I mean, I remember I was speaking with KJ in yesterday's show, and I mentioned how I would like to see BVD if we were to get a Guehi in, especially, that would help us utilize getting some type of rotation. Now, do I want to see, I would say so that you can basically, if you have 2 games in a week, or maybe even where it's close to being practically 3 games in a week almost, where you could rest him for that game, or even rest him maybe for 2 games or something like that, just so that he can kind of get his legs back together underneath him. 37 matches is how many games he started last year. 37. 3,300 and either 30 or 3,303, something like that. I think it was 2,303 minutes is how many minutes he played. That's a lot. So over 3,300 minutes he played.
look, if we get Gay in, we've got the Italian lad in, we've got Gomez, we've got Konate. And I think with them four guys there, there's enough there to give Virgil a rest. I think Gay's sort of transfer a lot sort of based on that. If we can get that wrapped up, it just gives our defense a bit more strength. You know what I mean? I'm not a biggest fan of Gay. I think he spends too much time on the floor, always falling
Mhm.
down and shit. And it sort of winds me up. That's what happens when he plays against Liverpool anyway. But I wouldn't want him
Yeah,
to do that for us, you know?
yeah.
But the
37,
way
37, 3,300 minutes, having started 37 games
Mhm.
and playing 3,300 minutes is like basically playing 90 minutes for 37 games.
Yeah,
That's
full games, that's a lot.
that's a lot. That's a lot.
But the the beauty behind that is when you got mindsets as clever as Virgil and Salah, they're top range professionals. They're like top shelf. They're just prime.
Mhm.
Hence why they can do it. You know, like for me, like Salah's played too many games. This that. That guy wants to play every day. He don't care.
He does.
He wants to play
He's
football.
the
He loves
captain
football.
too. Yeah,
You know
he's
what
the
I mean?
captain.
Virgil
Yeah.
and him, they love football. Salah is another guy. Like Salah, the way he's always fit, bro, ready to
Mhm.
play. You know.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, Hence why I ain't got no problem with them guys. I think they're earning like 400 grand a week. I think they can handle a game, 2 games a week sometimes. You know what I mean? And the
Yeah.
money don't really make that difference. But you know what I'm saying? I think they're just mentally advanced to handle that sort of regime of games. You know?
Okay. Yeah. I have mentioned that I do like when two of the center halves can establish a bond or like some real synergy between them, and they're able to play. The more games they're able to play with each other, the more games you'll find them being able to display that confidence in each other on the
Mhm.
pitch. But it's a real
For me
question.
too. Yeah, I think to have a good league season, you've
Mhm.
got to have a good centre back pairing. It's really important. Like, look, for me, I don't like Arsenal, but for me, their defense is their strong point of their team. Then
Are
two centre
you
backs.
concerned? AR, drop your question. If you guys have questions for us, just ask it, and I'll bring it up, and we'll answer as best we can. Um, are you concerned with Eze going to Arsenal? We're going to see the first game.
Mhm.
Most likely, the first game he's going to play in is going to be against
Us.
us.
Yeah, yeah. Look, bro, Eze was sort of quiet in that Charity Shield game against us.
Mm-hmm.
For me, top player, top player. But if we, like, for me, Words was not even in the conversation about, at the end of last season, or which players be looking for next season.
Oh,
And I think a
you
few
know,
guys mentioned Eze. I know Brian likes him. So Eze could have been playing for us, bro. Wirtz wouldn't have probably still been in Germany or somewhere else. Now when I think about it, I'd rather have Wirtz than Eze. Eze is quality though. I think he's really fair play to the lad. He's doing well at Palace. We'll see now. Arsenal's a different kettle of
we'll
fish.
see.
More
We'll
pressure on
see.
that. But I
I
think he'll
think
be
I
able to
think
handle it. I think he's good.
uh, you know debuts are not exactly fun to see because a player is going to be hyped and they're going to be, they're going to be this buzzing with energy, adrenaline to get into that game, and the fact that it's at Anfield helps us, but the fact that he's a talented player, some would say even world class. I don't know if he's world class just
Mm,
yet, but he's certainly top tier. I would put him top
yeah,
shelf.
yeah. I wouldn't say world class. I don't know. Maybe because he's played for Palace, he ain't played no big Champions League games. That sort of
Yeah,
things, finals. You know what I mean, bro? He only played a
yeah,
final.
yeah.
Um, he did well in the cup final against City. Yeah, good player, bro. Good signing. I can't. Can you hear me? I can't hear you, bro. Yeah, bit of a technical difficulty. I think it should be okay now.
Yeah, I've had some technical difficulties. I know my microphone is on default. Hold on. Okay. Hopefully.
That's cool. Yeah.
What was his name? I'm so sad. It's so sad. I'm going blank on his name. Hold on one second. I'll pull up the name. Pull up his name. Do you have an answer for this question from AR?
I would say the centre back, bro. Yeah, it's a centre back position for me. Look, left back we've got 3. Right backs were looking healthy a week ago. Well, 2 weeks ago, Bradley, Frimpong, and maybe a Gomez, for example. We were sort of sorted there. Just so for me, it's a centre back sort of situation. Like for me, Canati or Virgil not great, not well enough to play or whatever. The Italian lad's coming in, bro. So I think one more guy there is important.
If I was to answer the question, which area are we struggling on defense? Center back, right back, left back, that double pivot, and defensively on squad depth. Honestly speaking, I don't think that Kirkes has had that great of a run. It's only 1 game, 2 games technically. I don't think he's had a great over the top what we are looking to be expecting from our left back. Simonio. I'm going blank on his name too. The Bournemouth player.
Semenyo.
Semenyo. Semenyo was, doing bits on that left side against us in Bournemouth. Kirkes got a yellow card in that game. He looked a little like he was just, pressing pressing a little bit too much. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he didn't really seem like he was in his own rhythm. I'm hoping that he can establish that. And I think once he does establish that, we'll have a solid left back.
Bro, I love the enthusiasm. He's pure fire, that lad. And what will happen over the time he's playing with the team, the manager, he's going to sort of time himself into tackling, showing aggression, and when to do it and when not to do it and stuff. But enthusiasm-wise, the guy's got fire in him. I love it. Top signing. I don't worry about new signings, bro. I think fans get a bit too OTT. The guy's played 90 bloody minutes. You know what I mean? He's had 1 game. He went in some fucking tackles there, like that yellow card he got. Woof. So he's one of them type of guys, bro. Old school. And I like that. Like Robbo when he first came in, that fire. I think it's great to see. All it is with him, timing now. If they didn't get the timing right, match made in heaven there. I think he's going to be a good player for us. Yeah,
I think he's going to be a good player. I'm not questioning that. It's just more so he's just got to get familiar with how he's going to be covered by his center halves, or what he's going to be required to do when tracking back, and what he's going to be trying to do when he bombs forward. He's going to have his hands full against Newcastle.
I don't
know if I would go as far as to say that. I wouldn't. That's why I would. If I was going to put a player on the right side, I don't think I would put Kirkes on the right side to be like, oh, you're not doing well. You're not necessarily, in form on the left side, so now let's try on the right side. I don't know about that one.
No, but bro, you know, like expectations of new players and stuff. Like for me, it's like when you walk into a new job or whatever, you're not gonna hit the top straight away on the first day. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You ain't gonna go make the most sales or whatever it is. And
Mm-hmm.
I think footballers, I think we've got too much expectations. I think we've got to settle, new house, new lifestyle, new everything, and they've
Mm-hmm.
got to play football to the same level they were at the old club straight away.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it does. I'm not saying it don't, but all in general, I'm really chilled on new signings of how well they do. Look at Gravenberch, bro. He wasn't
Mm-hmm.
great when he first came. A year later, a whole year later, bang, we got a young player of the season, midfield. So that's why you got to give new players time.
Certainly,
Ekatike
certainly, yeah,
hit the ground running. Ekatike hit the ground running. You know what I mean? All good.
he has.
No problem with the new signings. They can take how long they want for me.
So has yeah. I mean, we've been blessed to have a couple players hit the ground running after their transfers. Cody hit the ground running. Diaz hit the ground running when we got transferred to our team. They were all January transfers, so they were
Yeah.
already, had already been possibly informed with their other clubs, but still, it is something. And the player I was thinking of from Crystal Palace was I know he's a little bit older than the classification for Eze, but I was thinking of Zaha. That's what I was thinking of. I was thinking of he reminds me of that talent level of a Zaha. Zaha was a talented player.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have said he's world class, but I would have definitely said that he's, a top talent, top tier talent for sure.
What happened? Went to United and ruined it all. Like you cannot send your players there. It just ruins them. You know.
Oh wait, I thought Zaha went to Galatasaray. Did he go to
Yeah, he went
United?
there. He went to United when he was younger, and then he went
Oh,
back.
when he was
Then he
younger.
ended up Palace. Yeah. That was his big move when he was young, bro. When all the hype was his Sahar lad went to Man United, ruined his career, ended up at Palace, smashed it, and then went to Galatasaray.
Yeah.
Did all right at Galatasaray.
Yeah.
I watched a few games. He did well.
Yeah. We did miss Kirkez when he came off, though. Says I am Batman. True.
It's his fire.
We didn't get. We
when
didn't necessarily. Robbo didn't necessarily make us miss Kirk, or didn't make us say that Kirkez wasn't missed. Because Robbo didn't exactly light it up either. I don't even think he got involved. I think he had one touch of the ball or something like that. All right. I personally think that, again, to answer the question, I personally think that the area of our defense that is suspect at the moment is or was what Gravenberch brings to our team. And it's not – sometimes, how they say the best offense is a good defense, the best defense is a good offense, as well. If you can hold on to the ball, if you can maintain possession, if you can really obviously score and get your shots off and everything else, then you put them on the back foot as opposed to you get them to have to find their games. I don't think that any of the people in our midfield were necessarily negligent, but I think that the absence of Gravenberch and this fact that McAllister wasn't to the level that we're used to seeing with that groin injury, he's still working his way back. You can see sometimes some of the tackles he was a little bit late in getting there. He was kind of using a lot more of his aggression as opposed to his talents and skills. And that's why, honestly, I would say it's most likely our midfield. It's probably the double pivot, the solidity of our double pivot.
But I reckon our midfield three last week in that Bournemouth first half we were playing great. I think Szoboszlai, McAllister were, yeah, but I think McAllister and Szoboszlai were playing well, getting stuck in when needed and that, and we sort of controlled that first half against them. It's only when we started fiddling around with the midfield and whatnot, we sort of it went a bit pear-shaped. So for me, I think Slots, he's gonna learn when to do subs and stuff, and I think sometimes he needs to learn about the timing and who's he gonna replace, like which way
We
you
can only
handle
hope.
this.
We can only hope. How about that? I'll put it that way.
You know what I mean?
We can only hope.
If I want to give what's his name a call back, the one who went to Ajax, Hettinger. I said, bro, we need you to come back. Sort this out. Yeah,
because you look at it. He made a comment in the press conference about very similar to the one that Pep Guardiola made, and that was that he doesn't like having the squad or the squad size that he has or dealing with a big squad because he doesn't like having to tell players that they're not going to make the team sheet. Like, we're allowed to have 25 players on a team, right? Technically, you can have 25 players at least, right? Depending on how many homegrown players you have and the likes. And then you mix into that the fact that you get 9 subs, which is a lot more than it used to be, but you still get 9 subs on the bench. You can only utilize 5, but you still get 9 subs to choose from. You have obviously your starting 11, so that makes it 20 players that you'll be putting on that team sheet. And 5 of those players will not be seeing
involved. Yeah,
the game. They'll be watching from the stands. And that's difficult, especially when you have players that honestly could be utilized or could play, and it's difficult because he's got a situation where he's trying to mix youth academy players that have been, obviously graduated to higher levels with the senior team so that they will not necessarily be relied on, but they'll certainly get minutes here and there, whether it's cup games or maybe even in a pinch, a league game. And then you mix in that he's got players like your Chiesas that weren't necessarily his favorite to choose when trying to manage minutes. And I think that's uniquely what a lot of us were talking about last year was, I know Mohamed Salah wants to play 90 minutes, but he doesn't have to. I know Virgil van Dijk wants to play 90 minutes, but he doesn't have to.
Thing is, I think they can though, bro. You know what I mean? Them two. I know what I mean. Like take them off 10 minutes here and there earlier. Yeah. So that's the type of guy who'll get pissed off because he knows he can get a goal before he comes off the pitch. We've seen it last week. He did that 93rd minute, 4th minute. He scored a goal.
We have the job done.
But he made the last 2 minutes more comfortable than that could have been. You know what football's like, bro.
Right.
We get the 3rd. We think we've won it. Or the other way around. They think they've won it. Bang, we can get another 2 goals in 2 minutes. That's what Liverpool do sometimes. And other teams can do that as well. Hence why, for me, Salah's the type of guy. I know a lot of people. I know Levante says he should get more rest and stuff. But I think he's just got that air of availability and all this. It just adds up for him to stay on the pitch all the time, bro. He's just that good. Fitness-wise, come on, man. You ain't messing with his fitness. Like, fair play.
No, I'm not saying that he's not fit. I'm not saying that he's not fit. I'm not saying BBD's not fit. But what I am saying is that I would like to have quality rotation be applied so that players can not only some of these players not only get rest, but also so that some of these players can get some type of form for when we do need them. You know, like as in the last thing you want is a player that, other than training, he hasn't really touched the pitch. You know.
Yeah. And
then
yeah.
Then we're situated with a position like we're in right now, where we don't have a right back, really, a realistic option for right back that can give us 90 minutes. And now all of a sudden we're thinking of who we're going to play. Oh, let's go play the player that's hasn't had, any like real quality minutes, much less quality minutes in a position that he doesn't even play.
Oh, yeah.
That's not exactly ideal.
I think that's going into this game, that's the biggest problem we have. Everything else is sort of sound. Midfield, striker, Salah, Gakpo, fullbacks, bar the right back situation. So praise the Lord that we've got sort of options there. Gomez is one option. I'm not saying Endo should play there, because for me, Endo's a midfielder. But just there's options or there's ways around it. For me, Gomez would be the one. But I don't understand about the small sized squads. What's going to happen, Arnie, in February when our players are fucking battered and they need some guys to come and play a few games for them while they take a rest? What you're going to do? You're going to just play youth players? We're going to lose the league guy. I always say a big football club need players who are on the bench, who are happy to be on the bench.
Yeah.
And they bring quality to the table as well. And but we've got sold a lot of players who are that type of guys. Look how many people have gone, bro.
Yeah, no, you're right about
Kwanzaa
that.
one,
Tsimikas was one of those players. Tsimikas wasn't necessarily making a big stink about not playing, despite the fact that at times he would play better than Robbo. There were points last year where people made arguments that Tsimikas should have started over Robbo.
Yeah, Robbo, that was his worst season he had with us last season, 100%. I think that I've always said this, like Andrew Robertson's a 100 miles per hour car, and then Arne Slot comes in and he's like using that 30 type of guy at the start, you know what I mean? And what happened, that change ruined Robertson the most out of any other player in the whole squad. Like Robbo couldn't just stick to that. Oh God, okay, we're gonna just walk with the ball now. Robertson wasn't used to that. Hence why you see mistakes popping up in his game because of that speed change. Yeah, Robertson was gonna get used to it, bro. Yeah. And that's it. Because I know I've seen that before in games where you're really fast, and your manager said slow it down, and what happens? You sort of lose your concentration. The ball bobbles and you lose your step, whatever. And that happens to footballers like Robertson. Robertson's a good player, bro. He cost us £5, and you cannot complain. And then when I see people moan about Robertson, I'm thinking, bro, if you cost that much bloody money and you did what he did, like, how can you disrespect that? I just don't understand it, man. The modern day football fans moaning about anything, like, show a bit of appreciation of the energy and the shift he's put in for the last 8 years with us. Simple.
Yeah. I know exactly what you mean by that. Some of his biggest fans have all of a sudden been like, "Who's Robbo? Who's this Robbo you're talking about?"
Yeah.
Do we have a Robbo? Does he play for this team? It's like weird science.
Bless up Pops in the chat.
Yeah, big up Pops. Big up to Pops representing Bajan Reds. One of his counterparts, not going to say who, one of his counterparts is having a little amnesia when it comes to Robbo. But not Pops. Not Pops. But I'm just saying one of the Bajan Reds crew. Oh, man. Excuse me. But yeah.
What, bro? Any latest on Rodrigo and Isaac?
I did speak on Rodrigo earlier. Rodrigo apparently is still a very viable option. He's basically maneuvered himself down to considering 2 clubs, and apparently Real Madrid have backed off of the high price tag that they're going to be looking for. And now that the window is getting closer and closer to being complete. Originally, they were looking at 86 million pounds, basically, or like 100 million euros, basically, is what they're looking for. That's just not happening. I don't think you're going to see that happen. I know he's a talent, but I mean, it's not like he said he was going to fight for his position with Real Madrid, but now you can see that he's not even getting the opportunity to really do that either. Because now, like Guler, for instance, is getting playing time over him. And I think I'm trying to think of what his name is. There's another player. I think I wrote it down. There's another player. I think he's like 18 years old or 19 years old. He's like a very young player. Let's see.
I think I've seen him. Taller guy. But I know since Gula's been there,
I can't believe I forgot who it was. There's a player that I like, actually. But yeah, he was on the bench against Osasuna, right? Diaz got in before him. Arda Güler got off the bench before him, or at least started ahead of him. Even the young player that they brought in from Argentina, the player I like, he is a player I like, actually. Franco Mastriano. He played for River Plate. We were looking at him for a while. He's a South American wonder kid.
Yeah.
He got off the bench. He even got playing time. So Lonzo's looking at it as like, I'm going to play not only obviously some of the more veteran players, but I'm even going to play the youth in front of you before you become an option. And that's a real testament, I think, that he is not viewed as the future for Real Madrid. It is not going to be easy for him to get into that lineup.
I'm not sure if it's to do with his talent. It could be something else, bro. He could be awkward in the changing rooms. God knows what, you know.
He's not pushing. Apparently, he's not pushing for a move. But
yeah, look, bro. Gula from the Turkish guy, good player, but you would think that Rodrigo's a bit more advanced than him. But Gula's getting a lot of game time, bro.
I like Arda Güler.
Yeah. Good player.
I know that Dominic Szoboszlai doesn't like Arda Güler, but I mean, like, but I think he's a good player, and I think he's a talent. And there was a moment when I was hoping that we would have tried to angle our way into getting him to Liverpool at one point, because he was not really getting that much playing time. And there wasn't a really honest angle of him really getting that playing time, but he proved his worth. I guess maybe Rodrigo they started souring more on Rodrigo, and then he started to step up. And he also had a good Euros too.
Yeah.
He had a really good Euros.
And the thing is, if a new kid on the block comes in and starts taking your spot, you're going to get a bit wound up. And that could boil over in the changing rooms and training, whatever. We don't know, bro. But look, when you look at that picture on the right of us, with all them players there, I think if you take Isaac and Rodrigo away, it doesn't look as strong as it could be. You know, I think adding them 2 guys would be world class. Right, we're in a situation now. We've got 4 competitions to take care of. We need an Isaac and a Rodrigo. I know Rodrigo's not everyone's cup of tea. I understand that, but who else is out there? And money-wise, I think it's about time as fans got treated like Christmas, and the owners spent big. So for me, it's like K-Mac always thinks this is the best window since sliced bread. I'm like, bro, it isn't. You
Yeah.
know, it's not, because look, we're going to end up playing bloody Endo at right back and an Italian lad from Italy at centre back if anyone gets injured. It's not been a great window. It will be if we wrap up 3 more signings, Gay and them 2 at the top, Rodrigo and Isaac. Get them 3 in. Ooh, that's the best window of windows. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, exactly. I know what you mean. That's what you mean. We need squad depth. Who would have thought?
Exactly.
Who would have thunk it?
Yeah.
Who would have thunk it? I don't know how you go from winning the Premier League to saying we need squad depth. Not
Look,
saying
bro,
you're
our
wrong,
squad
AR, at
is.
all. I'm just saying, who would have thunk that we would have been in this position where we go from winning the Premier League to really, really emphasizing trying to get squad depth.
Like for me, we're a bit weak all over in that way. Of last season, it just felt like we were stronger, numbers wise, quality wise, and that.
Hmm.
3 guys from up top have left us all. Who else has left us? Defenders too, Trent and Kwanzaa, who could have been Liverpool's future defenders, bro. When you look at it, so them 2 are gone as well. So squad wise, depth wise, they've only spent 93 million euros. The owners, wheeling the dealing,
Only, I
in
mean,
and
you make it
outs
sound
and
like it's
stuff.
nothing. That is still a
But
bit.
bro, look, we ain't spent nothing in 6 windows. Like this is like we spent 10 million on Chiesa last year, but for 6 windows, bro, we ain't spent zilch.
I
Hence
get
why for me, a 93 million euros, not even pounds, it's euros, bro.
Mm-hmm.
It's not really nothing when you look at what Arsenal have spent now. Arsenal outgoings, not really nothing really. Jorginho, blah blah blah. But coming in wise, they spent 300 again. They're
Mm-hmm.
the ones who are spending big, bro. And they're all looking at us, pointing fingers at us because we're going after Ozil. It's mad.
Well,
But we have only spent 93 million euros on players. And that's not bad, bro.
that's not bad. That's not bad. I know what you're saying. I get what you're saying. Well, we're about to come up on the 2-hour mark. We extended it because we got a much appreciated appearance by JK. And we covered basically everything we had on today's bill. Basically, the right back crisis. I went over the Champions League anticipation, the fact that we're going to be getting the draw pretty soon. Gravenberch's rise and appreciation of winning the awards that he did at the PFA Awards, and plenty of transfer drama. Real quick, we only have like a minute left, but JK, did you want to tell us who you? I don't know if I can get to it. Who home and away? Who would you like? Let me see if I can bring up the. See if I can bring it up here real quick. Hold on. I put it in the chat, but it's like way up there. Who you'd like to see as our home and away for Champions League? We're in pot 1 with like a lot of good teams. I'll give you the list of teams.
I think it's on the 25th, the draw now.
The draw is the 30th. The 28th is Thursday. Thursday's the draw, and and the fixtures will be confirmed by Saturday the 30th.
Okay.
And
I'd love to get Real Madrid, bro.
Yeah. I'll show you the teams we have. I had them listed in here. I can just retype them, but I did put them in the chat. I should have started. Here, I'll just retype it. All right. So the teams are, your choices are PSG, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, Inter, Chelsea, Dortmund, and City.
2 teams there, bro. PSG and Real Madrid.
So what home and away? What do you want to do?
Real Madrid home.
Okay.
Get Trent back. Beat him 4-0.
Everybody's. You weren't the only person that angled for that. Someone else brought that up, and I was like, "That's a good shout."
It'd be nice, man. It'd be nice.
Yeah.
I heard today they were like.
I don't know if it'll be nice. It is. It'll certainly be.
It'll be nice.
It'll be very, very. It would be very similar to what we're going to face in St. James Park, I'd say, if Isak is playing for our team. But go ahead.
Yeah, it's gonna be hostile and stuff. But
big up Adam,
PSG,
by the way.
PSG would be cool. Oh, bless up Adam. I think
so
PSG
you want to go?
again.
You want to have Real Madrid at home, and then you want to go to, PSG on the road.
Yeah, why not? It's gonna be hard, but yeah, I just want to beat them 2 teams. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Can't say there's no JK is scared. No scared business in JK.
No. I like big games. He just brings the best out of the players sometimes as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I agree.
You got Real Madrid on Wednesday. You're like, yeah.
Yeah, I was looking at. I said my choices were initially if I was saying that I wanted to go to a game and go for like the ambiance and the stadium, to see that the stadium. I said Dortmund. I'd want to go. I'd want to go to Dortmund. I know Barcelona is in there. I know Real Madrid's in there. PSG is there. I get that. Bayern Munich, even if you want to put that, but I'd want to see the yellow wall. Like that would. There's very few stadiums that I hear can rival Anfield with the ambiance and like the atmosphere. And Dortmund is one of those places, and I think that Dortmund, it's not a place. It's a place that we could get a result from. I think we could beat Dortmund, and I also think it'll be a hostile environment, obviously, in the sense of that it's just a difficult stadium to play in with the noise and the fire of the audience or the crowd, their supporters. But yeah, I said Dortmund if I had to choose that way. But if I'm just choosing out of pure, I want to get through the pot 1 candidates with the least amount of like sweat off the brow. I am saying I want to go to the bridge, and I am saying I want to play Dortmund at Anfield.
Yeah.
I think Inter will be a tough matchup. I don't want to see City. I think Barcelona will be a tough matchup. Bayern Munich will be a tough matchup. Real Madrid will be a tough matchup. Regardless, I know they're not in the greatest of form, but the history and everything else, they know when to turn up that gauge. And PSG, still a tough team. So I don't know. This questions. We all have different.
We'll find out.
We'll see. We'll see this time next week. We'll see. Or not this time next week. Saturday. I think the draw's on Saturday. We'll have it finalized by Saturday. But Thursday, we'll see. We'll see. Yes.
Then the
and just
window
as Pop
closes.
said, I'm sorry. I was going to say, this Pop said, we fear nobody. Red Armchair support for backing that up.
Right.
Go ahead. I didn't mean to. What did you want to say?
No, the transfer window closes as well. after the draw weekend. I think the transfer window closes like a few days later, so
Yeah,
maybe
I
a
think it's like the
busy sort
second
of.
or third, second or third in
I
September.
think it's second,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, so we'll be getting some answers pretty quickly.
Mhm.
Well, people, we're going to end the show here because we're at past the 2-hour mark. It's a huge weekend. A lot of good games that are going to be involved with the games that we see. We'll probably get some. We'll probably do a shout to see like, oh, be sure to hopefully you got your fantasy football teams in, because if you didn't, then you're stuck with whatever was your team from last week. But we'll probably try to get some picks in before the games start. If not, then we'll certainly do a review of the games. I'm going to do a preview of the Monday night game on Sunday. And we will be definitely doing a roll call for that Monday fixture. Should be a good one, people. I'm excited. I think that you are excited. We fear nobody. That includes Newcastle. So let's have at it. Look, please do make sure to like the video. Trying to get 50 likes every video going forward. Subscribe if you haven't already, and drop your comments below if you have questions or you want to bring up a comment or about something that you want to even talk about. I want to know your dream Champions League draw. Definitely tell me that you're home and away for the pot that we're in, the pot one that we're in, and who you trusted right back on Monday. Tell us who you trust them right back on Monday in the comments. If you've already told us. If you've already told us in the chat, cool, but repeat it so that the whole world can see again. All the same, my brothers and sisters out there, this is the Liverpool 12th Man Show. And as always, you'll never walk alone. And I really do appreciate the fact that you guys did not allow for me to do so tonight. And I'm glad that JK assisted me on not allowing for me to do that either. And until next time, up the Reds each and every time, my brothers and sisters. Up the Reds. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.